What if the absolute smartest move in global politics is to say nothing at all? I mean, think about it. We live in a world of total surveillance, where every single action is analyzed, every intention is predicted. The old rules of power, they're being completely rewritten. Today, we are diving into a really radical new theory of statecraft built for this transparent age: the dark forest diplomacy.
Okay, let's just jump right in. This slide right here, it lays out a pretty stark contrast that gets to the very heart of what we're talking about. For centuries, diplomacy was all about communication, sending signals, having a dialogue. But now, well, a new theory suggests the key to survival is silence. So the big question is, what on earth happened? Why this massive pivot from talking it out to deliberate, strategic quiet?
To really get a handle on the new rules, we first have to remember the old ones. So let's start with Section 1, the art of the signal.
Right, so back in the day, international relations was kind of like this delicate dance of sending messages. You might have a naval exercise in the Pacific, or a leader giving a big speech at the UN, or maybe a super carefully worded treaty. These were all signals. They were designed to show your intentions, flex a little muscle, or maybe offer an olive branch. And this whole system worked because there was always a little bit of wiggle room, a space for interpretation and maybe even a little trust between nations.
But then everything changed. Let's move on to Section 2, and you'll see how this whole thing builds. We entered a world that is always watching.
Now, this slide here maps out the new battlefield. We're talking about global surveillance networks that see and hear pretty much everything. And transparency here, it's not some nice fuzzy word about openness. It's weaponized. Your every move can be predicted, your plans exposed, and your weak spots used to shut you down before you even make a move. Let's say a country is planning a major cyber defense upgrade. In this new world, any signal, a budget change, buying new tech, can be spotted, analyzed, and instantly countered. An adversary could develop an exploit before the new defense is even online. So the old playbook of sending signals, it's not just outdated, it's a huge liability.
So, if the old way of doing things is basically a trap, what do? I mean, how do you survive, let alone win? Well, that brings us right to Section 3, the dark forest strategy.
And there it is, dark forest diplomacy. The core idea is actually pretty simple, but it is incredibly powerful. In a world where everyone can see everyone else, the safest and, frankly, most effective strategy is to stay hidden, to be totally silent. Because in this new game, being seen means becoming a target. Simple as that.
Now, you're probably wondering where an idea this radical comes from. And this is the cool part. It doesn't actually have its roots in political science. It comes from astrophysics. So let's explore this absolutely fascinating connection in Section 4, the Fermi paradox axiom.
This is one of the biggest questions in all of science. The Fermi paradox basically asks, with all the billions of stars and planets out there, why haven't we heard from anyone, from any other intelligent civilizations? The universe is so vast, so ancient, and just eerily silent. Why?
Well, the dark forest theory offers a pretty chilling answer to that question. And this right here is its core axiom when you apply it to geopolitics. The cosmic idea is that any civilization that shouts, "Hey, we're here," risks being seen as a threat and, well, eliminated. So the smart ones, they stay quiet. Now just apply that same logic to our world. Any state that reveals its true strategic intent is instantly countered by the global network.
So the takeaway here is that this completely flips our traditional idea of power on its head. It suggests that making big, bold announcements or showing off your cool new tech is a rookie mistake. A successful power wouldn't announce that cyber defense upgrade we talked about. No way. They'd develop it in total secrecy, deploy it across their entire network in an instant, and leave their adversaries suddenly facing a brick wall without any warning. Real, lasting power isn't broadcasted. It's built up in the dark and only revealed at the exact moment of impact.
Which brings us to the final and maybe most powerful conclusion of this whole theory. Let's look at Section 5, power in absolute silence.
This table really just boils it all down, doesn't it? It lays out the fundamental choice in modern statecraft. It's not about choosing the right signal anymore. It's about choosing whether you should signal at all. If you reveal your intent, you're just inviting an immediate counterattack. It's like showing your entire hand in a massive high-stakes poker game. But if you maintain opacity, if you stay silent and unpredictable, you hold on to the ultimate currency of power, freedom of action, the ability to do what you want, when you want, on your own terms.
And this is the big takeaway, the one thing to remember. In an era where information and transparency can be turned into weapons and used against you, the only real shield is strategic opacity. Silence isn't passive anymore. It's an active, powerful defense. It's a tool you use to protect your options and your ambitions from a world that is always, always watching.
So we're left with this really profound question for the 21st century. As our world becomes more interconnected, more transparent than ever before, have we accidentally created a strategic environment where the most powerful move is no move at all? A world where silence isn't just golden, but maybe the ultimate weapon?